I don't know that he can. If you're just a local yokel Tampa guy, can he do a show where everybody shows up to his studios and he pays them their salary they're making now?
Let's get down to business.
If you were locked away in an insane asylum,
Maybe it's time you let me get on with my job.
this is what it would sound like.
I don't think that Americans would find that funny.
No, it is not a joke.
We now return to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
You know, during the hot mic, you may have heard us talk about, the Mike Calta deal. And, to his credit, I mean, he's got a strong pimp ham, Lummy, and he's rolled around for a long time doing whatever the hell he wanted. Stealing tapes and setting people up and, just doing some very, very, very uncool stuff. And a lot of it was directed towards me. And quite frankly, I was his bitch. And maybe still, and maybe, if he doesn't get fired, I still will be his bitch. But listen, I had a strong pimp ham, Calta. This doesn't come from a guy that didn't have far more power than you even have. I was the greatest of all time, and I still am. But you had a lot to do with my demise, so you probably think you got one up on me. Well, maybe you did. And you got a strong pimp ham, and I gotta give you some credit, kid. You played your pimp ham strong, but you know what? Your pimp hand's good, and people will until it's not. And you never know when one of your strong-armed mess-ups, one of your over-the-top thinking that you're all that, one of your normal behaviors that corporate will stand beside you because you're the program director was formerly your intern. Like, the expression they say is that Calta runs the building over there. And you know what? You run the building until you don't. Ask Keith Lawless. Right, Anna? I mean, you run the building until finally corporate's had enough, and you don't.
And you don't.
And you never know which one of your F-ups finally is the final piece for corporate to say, he has painted us into a corner. We cannot have this type of behavior. Now, if this behavior got, we also have to keep in mind, this behavior is very viral. Like this isn't just on Bubba Clem's personal Instagram account that's got, 20,000 people and it's got a few views here and there. No, this has been covered by a lot of national newspapers, news sources. This has gotten arguably tens of millions of views. There's memes about it now. And here's where Calta probably made the fatal mistake. And this is probably why Cox is going to get rid of him. Because you did all of this while acting as a representative of Cox at a station event that's a paid advertiser. That you had two senior men. I don't necessarily know that if Mike Oliveira and Brian Kelly don't get fired. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so this event is genuinely stands for everything that your corporation puts out publicly that you don't allow. And in fact, you as Cox Communications and Apollo Global, who owns Cox, are very big on women's empowerment movements. You are part of a recognized, sanctioned body of businesses that are considered women empowered. And Cox is, a woman-empowered business, a woman empowerment recognized business. And when there's a video that has gone so viral that shows you, throw the charges, what the Sarasota County thinks you may have done wrong, but within our corporation, we are going to look stupid to our advertisers and to our board of directors, to our, to everybody, if we allow what is on video, regardless if it was prosecuted or not, if we allow that to have happened, and we've had other issues with this personality before, they years ago they had to. I was rumored to. I was told, don't know necessarily to be true, but they settled for $6 million. The Mike Calta show got sued for $6 million for a guy that was considered slow, using the R word, and they had R News, and they went to like some group home of they just went on the internet and typed in the R word, and they have this one kid who's from Tennessee, and he's like, sitting there at the lunch table, and he looks kind of all goofy and everything. He looks kind of art out. And so when the Mike Calta show would do our news, they would use that kid for their logo. That family sued them for what I was told, $6 million.
Nice.
Now let's. Okay, so you start becoming a civil liability. You start becoming a criminal, a civil and a litigious liability. Then they got sued by Hogan and wrote what I was told, don't necessarily know to be true, but rumor has it, the figure that's floating around, $55 million to Hogan, and Calta got him in that one, and now potentially where Erica may go with it. I don't know. I don't know if she's going to do anything with it. That's her deal. But nonetheless, first one of the day, he did act in that behavior. I mean, Cox Corporate Honor has a video to look at to see if that's within the Cox male employee standards. Mm-hmm. I mean, right?
Yep.
So what might not be criminal in Sarasota might not fly corporately at Cox.
That happens all the time.
And listen, Calta, you may think that you're all that. And again, I did too. I ran 98 Rock. I ran The Bone. I ran 98.7. Until I didn't. But I scratched and I clawed my way back. And I had 25 years of content that I could repurpose and monetize. And I was able to continue to have a pay. Is Mike Calta going to be able to do a show from his home studios that people will pay for, that he can keep everybody employed? I don't know that he can if you're just a local yokel Tampa guy. Right?
Yeah.
Can he do a show where everybody shows up to his studios and he pays them their salary they're making now?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. It's going to be you and Robert Kelly on Zoom, bitch. And again, don't. And Cox, I plead to you. Do the right thing. Stop this nonsense. Don't let a woman be hit by him like that. And the advertisers too. Like, be concerned. Really? I know they didn't get any charges, but the video's just awful. I mean, how many times have you heard old ladies talking about it? The video is just awful.
Yep.
I mean, the video is awful. God bless her little soul if she was still alive. Mike Calta's mom, she just passed not too long ago, and I'm sorry for that. No matter how much I hate you, I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. You are my worst enemy, and I would never wish that upon you. And your mom, Marianne, was a great woman. I had an opportunity to spend some time with her when we worked together. And she was a great person. Kind of reminds me a lot of my mom. And you know what? Makes me appreciate my mom. I still have mine, and I wish you still had yours. I know you still have your father, and I lost my stepfather. So certainly I feel for you on that. And you know what, Anna? Nobody can take those words right now and get them back to Calta that I was being disrespectful, because I was being very, very heartfelt there.
I know.
So now, outside of that, God bless her little soul. If your mom saw you do that to a woman, even if she was my girlfriend, your mom would say, Michael, I'm telling you, that's not good. That's not good. Cox is not going to... You got a family to support. A big-ass house payment.
I think if he could go back and take it back, he would as well.
But you can't...
No, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I don't think that he's defending his behavior.
You don't think I'm the king of I wish we could take things back, bitch?
Believe it or not,
Absolutely not.
everything you heard about him has been toned down for easier public acceptance. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show returns after these words.